Dust 2 is back, and with a vengeance, and I'm not a fan. If you recall from the end of my last video, I mentioned that I would be doing a live recording of a main channel video at the end of my first stream, and it took a minute for me to edit it fully down, but this is exactly that. Also, if you want more stream edits and just generally more content, I don't really know exactly what I'm going to be using it for, but I made a second channel, check it out and subscribe. This video is different to what you're used to, but the general content stays the same. It's still historical content about Counter-Strike and maps, just this time a bit more off the cuff. If you enjoy, give me a follow over on Twitch. Wait, I've got big news for you. This video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey, the cheap and easy way to trade out your old skins for something fresh. You can use code PENGUIN on the site to get two things. First off, you get $5 after you complete your first trade with a maximum bonus if you spend $100 on the site. And secondly, you get a 5% bonus when adding balance to the site. Combined with the 30% deposit bonus SkinsMonkey offers already, that's an extra 35% for you to spend. Follow my link in the description or the pinned comment and start trading today. What's up everyone? This is the first ever Penguin live from stream, edited down to a main channel video. Let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about the map pool. It's very interesting to talk about this right now because again, it did just change. A lot of people don't like it, but what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be looking back, talking about old map pools, talking about some new map pools, talking about the new map pool, kind of why this one kind of sucks, and generally what Valve should do about it. So first off, this is the current map pool. As it stands, obviously the elephant in the room is that the recent move to remove Overpass and add Dust 2. To be honest, and I think this is not a surprise to anyone, I don't really like this move, and I don't think a lot of people do, but let's talk about why. So fundamentally, when we're talking about a map pool change, there are two sides to it. There's the map that goes out and the map that comes back in on the other side. Overpass being removed was not a terrible map to remove, but I think nobody would say it's their first choice. For the most part, the map that most people would say deserves to be removed from the game most is either Mirage or Vertigo. Both of these maps had basically the writing on the wall that they are done. And Valve decided to remove Overpass instead, which to me, it didn't really make much sense. Overpass was not the worst map to remove, but it wouldn't be anyone's first choice pretty much. So from that side, it's not a terrible decision, but it's also not the right decision if you think about it. The interesting part is when you go to the other side of the coin, adding Dust 2 back to the pool. To be clear, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with Dust 2. In fact, I'd say it's the opposite. Dust 2 is the most popular video game map ever. In fact, Dust 2 kind of is Counter-Strike. So what's the issue with it though? And the answer is that it is very played out. And I'm gonna bring up a graphic really quick. When we look at this map pool, the main thing that you'll notice is that Dust 2 is the only map to be removed, added back, removed again, and added back again. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the nature in which it was done is bad. Normally, maps get overhauled before they are added back. If we look at Dust 2, first time Dust 2 was added back, it was completely overhauled. Train, removed, Train added back, completely overhauled. Inferno, Nuke, same thing. When Dust 2 was added back, nothing has fundamentally changed from Dust 2 here to where Dust 2 is today. Valve have kind of decided that the only change that they need is the switch to Counter-Strike 2. Counter-Strike 2 is enough of a change. I disagree. I don't think that Counter-Strike 2 changes enough. Yes, the smokes are different. Yes, the nade mechanics allow you to nade through smokes. You can smoke off the cross along with one single smoke rather than two. Those are differences, but those aren't differences that are enough to make it any less stale. In my opinion, Dust 2 right now is just as stale as it was when it was removed. The other interesting thing that you can kind of look at here is that Dust 2 only lasted one major cycle before being removed. Valve could have just added back Cobblestone. They could have added back Cash. They could have added back Train. The reason that I think Valve decided to add Dust 2 back to the game is that they kind of didn't have any other option. I don't think any of these other maps were ready for CS2. I think Dust 2 was added back out of desperation because they knew they kind of had to add a new map, and Dust 2 was the only map that was available in Counter-Strike. But here's the thing, Dust 2's here now, there's not really any use in complaining, so let's talk a little bit more about it. A big question that you might have if you are kind of a newer viewer of the game, or even not that, is if Dust 2 is so played out, then why do the best players of all time like it? Why do Simple, ZywOo, Nico, Device, why did these guys all openly voice their support for the map being added back? I'm gonna bring up another graphic really quick that's kind of gonna explain that. This is from HLTV. It's that these guys are the best at it. There are people that say hating on Dust 2 is kind of a casual take because these guys are happy to see it back. The truth is, it's not that these guys are arguing out of bad faith for anything, it's just that Dust 2 being back in the pool personally benefits them since they're the best at it. My argument isn't that Dust 2 is a bad map to play. Dust 2 is a bad map to spectate because it's been the same for the last 10 years. It makes sense that the people who are the best at Counter-Strike would want the map that basically embodies Counter-Strike to be back in the pool. And also, you make a good point in chat, Overpass is a harder map to carry on. But like this, with every reaction comes an somewhat equal overreaction on the other side. A lot of people have also said that this is the worst map pool ever. Now let's actually entertain this take for a second. Let's think about it. That's a very large question and a hard one to answer all at once. So let's really quick break it down, all right? Is this map pool worse than the previous? Yes, I think minus Overpass plus Dust 2 is a mistake. I'm not a big Overpass fan, but I think Dust 2 is a worse spectator experience than Overpass. Let's think back a little bit further. Is it the worst one kind of in recent memory? I would also say yes. This isn't necessarily because of the maps that have been shifted in and out. It's more because as these maps get old, they become more played out and they become worse. Mirage 5 years ago is not the same map as Mirage now. Vertigo 5 years ago is not the same map as Vertigo now. These maps had more potential to evolve strategically than they do today. Today, we can kind of see that these maps are not that great. Also, it's important to note, this version of Inferno that we're playing on right now is worse than the CSGO Inferno. So let's think back even further. Let's pull this graphic back up. This is every map pool that's been played since the launch of CSGO. Is this latest map pool the worst ever? I say no. In my opinion, the worst map pool ever is this map pool that I've highlighted right now. But why? All right, let's talk about it. At face value, this doesn't seem that bad, right? Dust 2, Mirage, Inferno, Nuke, Cache, Cobble, and Overpass. These are pretty good maps. People love Cobblestone. Cache is great, Nuke is great, Inferno is great, you know? You need to remember something important about this. You need to remember that it's not this Cobblestone. It's this Cobblestone. It's not this Overpass. It's this Overpass. It's not this Nuke, it's this Nuke. So now with that recontextualization a little bit, you need to realize that these maps are not the same as they are today. In fact, I would say every single map in this pool compared to their modern equivalences are worse, except for Cache. But Cache is its own special thing. You also need to remember this map pool was selected about 14 days before the first major it was played at. Even if you aren't convinced right now, you need to remember something else very unique about this map pool that I don't think a lot of you remember. I'm gonna play a video for you really quick, all right? Hold on, check this out, check this out. This is a map video from ESL1 Cologne 2014, all right? You can kind of see what's happening. It's kind of like normal Counter-Strike. Two bans, you see Team Envious picking, pretty much as you would normally assume right now. Fnatic are now picking their map. Fnatic pick Cobble, get to pick their side. Wait, what happened? Hold on a second, you're missing two bans. We're missing two bans. Wait, why did it just go to Inferno? Where are the other two bans to pick that third map? That's because, in this version, Counter-Strike third maps were picked via a randomizer. The last three maps that were available were randomly selected between them. So yeah, it's pretty much up to random chance what that third map is. There's no strategy in that. It's just ban, pick, randomizer between the last three. With that contextualization, you kind of need to realize that's one of the big reasons why I think this is the worst map pool. When you hear about the randomizer, you imagine that it's something archaic, you know, something only from the very olden days of CS, you know, like back when the majors were still kind of a new thing in 2013, 2014. That's not entirely true. The randomizer existed until 2017. The randomizer was still in play up until the end of E-League Atlanta 2017. That is right, the first major that Astralis won as an organization came at a major where the randomizer was in play for the third map, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, so with all of that considered, it's not the worst map pool of all time that we're in right now. It's pretty bad. It's definitely the worst one in recent memory. And what sucks about it is we're gonna have to wait another year for it to be changed. I guess a good question is, if I was in control at Valve, what would I do about this? To be honest, my answer is that I don't really know. I don't have a super strong opinion on this. I did in the past. I made a video on Train around 2 years ago where I had a solid answer, and my answer back then was to rotate one map out of the pool every major and then announce the coming change one cycle in advance. So to give an example of what I mean by that is, for instance, right now Valve would replace Overpass with Dust 2, and they would say after the next major, Vertigo is going to be rotated out for like Train or something. So teams have time to talk about the upcoming change, develop strategy. There's a little bit less of that paranoia, just distress that happens whenever Valve changed the pool. Some people happy, some people sad, etc. In that video, I also talked about how I really am not a fan of the idea of a 9-map pool. My thought on that has actually kind of changed. I think a 9-map pool might be kind of sick now. For the most part, the reason that I argued against a 9-map pool back then was that teams have trouble keeping up with 7 maps. I think since then, Counter-Strike players and the general IGLs and brains behind the game have become smarter, and it's not even just them. I think even the average player has been able to learn more. I think the average player who plays a good amount of Counter-Strike knows utility on every map, at least a good bit of utility on every map. And at this point, I think a 9-map pool might be a cool addition. I would also like to see more best of 5. Yeah, that'd be cool, especially with MR12. I think best of 5s are more viable. Another big argument against a 9-map pool is, going back to this graphic, you'll notice that in the map pool that I've considered the worst of all time, it was the map pool that they initially expanded the pool from 5 to 7 maps. I think that's a fair criticism, but I don't think that would happen again. Just to be real, I doubt that Valve would implement 2 completely untested maps to the professional pool like they did previously with Cobblestone and Overpass. I think if we were to expand the map pool to 9 maps now, the maps that would be added would probably be like Train and Cache, which are maps that people already like, and we wouldn't really need to worry about that. I think that a 9-map pool might be cool to spice up the game a little bit. With that, either way, we kind of need to realize that Counter-Strike is Counter-Strike. The gameplay is going to stay the same. Even if we might not be super happy with the state of the pool right now, we kind of have to live with it. The map pool will change, it will get better. Counter-Strike will change, Counter-Strike will get better. CS2 is trending in a very positive direction, and I'm overall very optimistic about the state of the game. Even if this video was not exactly what you expected when you clicked on it, I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. I had a lot of fun doing it live. It was fun talking to chat. If you want to come around, shoot the shit a little bit with me, check out my Twitch link in the description. If you guys like this a lot, I might start doing it more consistently. I also might start a Twitch edits channel specifically for stuff like this and edits of other things that I do on stream. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Back to our regularly scheduled programming next week, hopefully. Got a good one I'm cooking up for you. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time, whether that's on stream or on video. Goodbye.